What if tomorrow morning your alarm clock wasn't what woke you up? What if instead it was a deafening, bone-rattling roar, followed by the earth shaking beneath your bed? And when you rushed outside, heart pounding, you saw a 30-foot shadow moving between the buildings. A creature with knife-sized teeth, scales as thick as steel, and an appetite large enough to clear out your entire neighborhood. No, this isn't a new sci-fi blockbuster. This is what the world would look like if dinosaurs returned tomorrow. And you're about to find out just how fast our modern civilization would unravel when forced to share space with creatures that once ruled Earth for over 150 million years. Rewind the clock, 66 million years. Earth looked nothing like it does today. There were no humans, no cities, no cell towers, just vast wild landscapes teeming with life. The dominant species? Dinosaurs. From the long-necked Brachiosaurus roaming ancient floodplains to packs of deadly dromaeosaurs stalking through primeval forests, these animals weren't just large, they were everywhere. Some were herbivores the size of buildings, others predators fast enough to rival modern-day racehorses. Then, in a geological instant, it ended. A 6-mile-wide asteroid struck near what is now Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, triggering firestorms, mega tsunamis, and a years-long impact winter. The dinosaurs vanished, and we rose. But what if, instead of staying extinct, they came back tomorrow? All of them? Not just in zoos or science labs, but in your streets, in your skies, in your oceans? Let's break it down. The urban dinosaur crisis? Let's say they reappear globally, all at once. Within hours, modern infrastructure would begin to crumble. Take Argentinosaurus, an herbivore that could reach over 100 feet in length and weigh more than 100 tons. Now imagine just one of them wandering through Los Angeles. Skyscrapers? Crushed. Roads? Pulverized. Cars? Popped like tin cans. Even the smaller ones spell disaster. The heavily armored Ankylosaurus, about the size of a tank with a swinging bone club for a tail, could destroy vehicles and buildings just by turning around. Panic would spread as social media floods with videos. Dinosaurs in Times Square, a Stegosaurus crossing the Golden Gate Bridge, herds of hadrosaurs blocking highways. Police departments, fire brigades, even the military, completely unprepared. And these aren't monsters. They're wild animals, confused, stressed, and crashing headfirst into a world they don't recognize. Now let's talk about the ones that wouldn't just mind their own business. Predators like the infamous Tyrannosaurus rex, up to 40 feet long, 20 feet tall, and with a bite force of 12,000 pounds. That's enough to crush a truck engine like a soda can. In a quiet suburb, one T-Rex could stalk dozens of streets in a single day. With keen eyesight and an acute sense of smell, it could hunt with terrifying efficiency. And unlike movie myths, real raptors like Utahraptor, the size of a bear, armed with curved claws and hunting in packs, would pose a far greater threat than a lone giant. In rural towns, schoolyards could become hunting grounds. Your backyard barbecue? It's over. The worst part? These predators would quickly realize something. Humans are everywhere, and easy prey. Think you're safe indoors? Think you're safe flying? Let's introduce Quetzalcoatlus, a pterosaur with a 40-foot wingspan, the largest flying animal ever to live. This wasn't some passive glider. It could launch itself into the air using all 4 limbs, stalk prey on land, and dive from the skies like a feathered missile. And it's not alone. Reptilian flyers like Pteranodon and Zungaripterus would darken the skies in flocks, nesting on rooftops and cliffs. Birds? Displaced. Air traffic? Grounded indefinitely. Small planes would be swatted from the sky like flies. Drones, helicopters, even low-flying passenger jets would be at risk. If you thought bird strikes were dangerous, try a 500-pound predator smashing into your cockpit. The oceans turned primeval. As if land and air weren't enough, the seas wouldn't be safe either. Mosasaurs, essentially marine T-Rex with flippers, could reach 50 feet long and bite with such force they could split whales in half. Cruise ships? Gone. Beaches? Off limits. Fishing industries would collapse overnight. Scuba divers? Forget it. Even inland lakes could become death traps if plesiosaurs or Spinosaurus began to dominate river systems. Entire aquatic food webs would be thrown into chaos. Our oceans, already fragile from climate change, would become battlegrounds. Ecological domination. Here's the part most people forget. Dinosaurs weren't just predators, they were ecosystem shapers. A Triceratops could eat 200 pounds of plants a day. Multiply that by millions of herbivores suddenly returning to the planet, and within weeks, major agricultural zones would be devastated. Our crops wouldn't survive the onslaught. Entire food chains would collapse as dinosaurs displaced modern animals. Rhinos, elephants, and hippos outcompeted lions and tigers, killed or starved. In just a few months, entire ecosystems would flip. Forever, we'd witness mass extinctions again. And then comes the truly horrifying twist: disease. Bringing back dinosaurs also brings back ancient bacteria, viruses, and parasites we've never encountered. Our immune systems wouldn't know how to fight them. It could spark outbreaks, fast-spreading, untreatable, and potentially global. Add to that mutations caused by exposure to modern pollution, radiation, and altered climate patterns, and these creatures might not stay the same for long. Imagine a hyper-adapted raptor, now immune to tranquilizers, breeding in underground subway tunnels, a mosasaurus adapting to fresh water, a velociraptor that starts hunting in packs of 30. What returns may not be exactly what once lived. It might be something worse. Human resistance or surrender? Could we fight back? Yes, but at a cost. Conventional weapons might slow them down, but not without collateral damage. Think missile strikes in city centers. Think tanks rolling through suburban neighborhoods. Biotech companies would scramble to create dino-repellent pheromones, containment systems, or even viruses to wipe them out. But even if we managed to control some species, it would be nearly impossible to eliminate them all. Dinosaurs are survivors. They dominated Earth for 150 million years, far longer than us. In a long-term war, we might not win. Here's a mind-bending thought. If that asteroid never hit, humans might not even exist. Dinosaurs dominated mammals for so long. Our ancestors were tiny, nocturnal creatures that only flourished after the dinos disappeared. So ironically, the thing that killed the dinosaurs gave us a chance to rise. If they came back, we'd lose that chance all over again. So, what if the dinosaurs came back tomorrow? It wouldn't be a Jurassic Park fantasy. It would be a planetary reset. Our cities would fall. Our skies would darken. Our oceans would turn hostile. Our species would struggle to survive. But in all of this chaos, one thing becomes clear. We are not the ultimate rulers of Earth. We're just the latest chapter in a very, very long story. And if dinosaurs return, that chapter might close permanently. Because if history tells us anything, it's that when dinosaurs rule the world, everything else steps aside. If this prehistoric nightmare gave you chills, go ahead and hit that like button. Got theories of your own? Drop them in the comments. We want to hear your survival plan.